Azure Storage provides different options for accessing blob data based on usage patterns. Take a look at how each access tier in Azure Storage is optimized for a particular pattern of data usage. By selecting the correct access tier for your needs, you can store your blob data in the most cost-effective manner. The hot tier is optimized for frequent access of objects in the storage account. Accessing data in the hot tier is most cost-effective, while storage costs are somewhat higher. New storage accounts are created in the hot tier by default. The cool tier is optimized for storing large amount of data that is infrequently accessed and stored for at least 30 days. Storing data in the cool tier is more cost-effective, but accessing that data may be somewhat more expensive than accessing data in the hot tier. The archive tier, on the other hand, is optimized for data that can tolerate several hours of retrieval latency and will remain in the archive tier for at least 180 days. The archive tier is the most cost-effective option for storing data, but accessing that data is more expensive than accessing data in the hot or cool tiers. If there is a change in the usage pattern of your data, you can switch between the three tiers at any time. Let's switch to a demo and see how to manage tiered storage using the Azure portal. There are several tools available that you can use to manage Azure storage. Using the Azure portal, you can amend the access tier for the storage account from hot to cool and change the replication options. To manage a storage tier in the Azure portal, search for storage account from the search bar. Select one of your storage account in the display list and then click Configuration. You can change the default access tier from hot to cool and the replication from LRS, GRS, and read access geo-redundant storage. To change the access tier for a particular blob, navigate to Containers under the blob service, select your container, and then click on Blob. Select the Change Tier tab, click the drop-down list, and select the access tier you want to use. Finally, click Save. All storage accounts use a pricing model for blob storage based on the tier of each blob. When using a storage account, you want to take into considerations different billing options that will affect the storage pricing. Performance tiers is in addition to the amount of data stored. The cost of storing data varies depending on the storage tier. The per gigabyte cost decreases as the tier gets cooler. Data access costs increase as the tier gets cooler. For data in the cool and archive storage tier, you are charged a per gigabyte data access charge for reads. Transaction cost, there is a per transaction charge for all tiers that increases as the tier gets cooler. Geo-replication data transfer cost, this charge only applies to accounts with geo-replication configured, including GRS and read access GRS. Geo-replication data transfer incurs a per gigabyte charge. Outbound data transfer costs refer to data that is transferred out of an Azure region, and it incurs billing for bandwidth usage on a per gigabyte basis, consistent with general purpose storage account. Changing the storage tier from cool to hot incurs a charge equal to reading all the data existing in the storage account. However, changing this account storage tier from hot to cool incurs a charge equal to writing all the data in the cool tier. This is for general purpose V2 accounts only. That's all the different storage tiers you will use with blob access.